Hello, I am Dr. Abhishek Sharma. In this video, I will discuss the digital baseband transmission and the representation of data with the help of digital signals. Right, digital baseband transmission requires a digital representation of data. That means the conversion of analog to digital signal. The conversion also involves basically three types of techniques. Line coding, which is always required to transmit the digital data with wire. Digital baseband transmission required the conversion from a string of ones, zeros. Ones and zeros are the digital bit data of a sequence of signals denoted by ones for plus voltage and zero for negative. Zero or for low voltage, that is represented as minus V, or could also be represented by 0 volt. This is a simple representation of data transmission which involves an encoder as well as decoder. The encoder is receiving a data from a sender, and digital bit stream is received by the encoder in terms of raw data, and that encoder is converting this digital data into electrical equivalent of digital representation. And after that, with the help of this link, the data is transmitted to the receiver, where a decoder is again converted this electrical equivalent of digital data into the digital bit stream that will be easily understandable by the receiver. A data symbol can also consist a number of data bits, 1 or 0, if a single bit or a symbol which is having only one bit is transmitted. If the symbol having more than one bit, let us suppose 2 or more than 2, then it will also called as a symbol. So a data symbol can be coded into a single signal element or multiple signal element. Positive 1 volt is represented as plus V and 0 is represented as minus V. Similarly, plus V for V or minus V, that is related to one line coding scheme, and 0 for negative V or plus V, that represents the phase changes. The ratio R is the number of data elements carried by a signal. The data rate defines the number of bits sent per second, right? For example, if I am transferring 100 bits per second, it will be considered as 100 bps, and this is a bit rate of the transmitted data. It is often referred to as bit rate. As I have said, the signal rate is the number of signal elements sent in a second and measured in bauds. Bauds will be preferred if you are sending your data in terms of symbols. That is usually a combination of one or more than one bits. It is also referred to as modulation rate. So goal is to increase the data rate while reducing the baud rate. So this is required because if you are transmitting one bit stream, let us suppose, and you have 100 bits, then you need 100 bps required data. That means the required bandwidth will also be 100 bits per second, right? But if I will just going to bind 2 bits in a single symbol, right, I am using 2 bits per symbol. That means we have 4 representation of symbols. That in that case, the total data rate will be or you can say bit rate will be divided by 4, because there are 4 symbols, right? So the now required baud rate, or the latest baud rate, will be 25 baud per second. So definitely it is a reduction of bandwidth. One data element per symbol, this is called R is equal to 1 if I am transmitting one element, right? One data of element per one signal element, right? If one data element per 2 signal, then R is equal to 1 by 2. This is the ratio I was already said. 2 data element per one symbol, that is R is equal to 2, like 2, this is symbol of 2 bits. Similarly, 4 bit then the data rate data element per 3 signal element, then it will be R is equal to 4 by 3. The baud rate or signal rate can be expressed as S is equal to C into N into 1 by R bauds, where N is the baud data rate, where C is the case factor, worst, best or average, that is according to the required line coding scheme. R is the ratio between the data element and the signal element. Now let us consider an example in which a signal is carrying data in which one data element is encoded as one signal element, right? If the bit rate is 100 kbps, what is the average value of the baud rate if C is between 0 and 1? So in this case, a signal is carrying the data, one data, right, which one data element is encoded as one signal element as the ratio is 1. So if the bit rate is 100 kbps, what is the average value of the baud rate if the C is this one, right? So I will calculate this as S is equal to C into N into 1 by R, that is equal to 1 by 2 as it is already given, into 5 zeros, this is the 100 kbps approx value, R is 1, so it will be 50k baud. Although the actual bandwidth of a digital signal is infinite, but the effective bandwidth is finite. Let us suppose I am dividing my signal into L number of levels, right? Like 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. That is 8. Total 8 levels. Then in that case, how many bits are required? So we can calculate this with the help of as there are L number of levels, so that is equal to 2 to the power 3. So minimum 3 bits are required to transmit this these number of levels, right? So the required number of bits will be calculated as log base 2L. If each level correspond to one signal element and we assume the average case that is equal to 1 by 2, so then we have N max 1 upon C into B into R, that is equal to 2 into B into log base 2L. Now considerations for choosing a good signal element referred to as a line coding. Baseline wandering, right? A receiver will evaluate the average power of the received signal. This is called baseline and use that to determine the value of incoming data signals. If the incoming signal does not vary over a long time period, the baseline will drift and thus cause errors in detection of incoming data. So good line coding scheme will prevent long runs of fixed amplitude, right? That means 1 1 1 1 1 1 1 or continuously 0 0 0 0 0. This will only happens if you take the number of levels that is too low, that is required to represent a continuous time signal. I mean to say that if your number of levels are low, then it is possible that in your line coding scheme or the transmitted data bit patterns will have continuously 1 or continuously zeros. So this L is very much important, and the required number of bits is also carefully selected to represent L in terms of digital bit data. Line coding also required the DC component when the voltage levels remains constant for long periods of there is an increase in the low frequencies of the signal. Most channels are baseband and may not support the low frequencies. This will require the removal of the DC component of a transmitted signal. Self-synchronization. The clocks at the sender and the receiver must have the same bit level and bit interval. Like for example, if TB is the bit duration for a single bit transmitted from the receiver, then the line coding scheme should have a self-synchronization methodology so that receiver can extract this bit information from the received data. So if the receiver clock is faster or slower, it will misinterpret the incoming bit stream. This is a simple effective lack of synchronization for, let us suppose this is actual transmitted signal, but if the received signal is lagging with respect to the transmitted data, then you will see that there is a little bit difference. So in that case, if your sampling instant is just slips, which is the required time instant to collect the data bit stream, so if that slips, or you can say time lag, which results or degrades the quality of the received digital data, so because of the bit streams will be corrupted. So there is another example. In a digital transmission, the receiver clock is 0.1% faster than the sender clock. How many extra bits per second does the receiver receive the data? Rate is 1 kbps. How many data rate? How many if the data rate is at 1? So at 1 kbps, 1000 bits sent, or because of this lag, 1000 bits received. So 1 extra bit. If you are transmitting at a data rate of 1 mbps, then it will be around 1000 extra bits, and that is the result. So error detection capability. Error occurs during the transmission due to the impairments. Some codes are constructed such that when an error occurs, it can be detected. For example, a particular signal transition is not the part of the code. When it occurs, the receiver will know that the symbol error has been occurred. Basically, different other methodology like source coding and channel coding is also used for this purpose. Noise and interference. There are line encoding techniques that make the transmitted signal immune to noise and interference. Like for example, if bit is corrupted because of the noise, then it will be detected at the receiver end. This means that the signal cannot be corrupted if it is stronger, if it has the capability, or you can say stronger error detection capability. Now the complexity, the more robust and resilient the code, the more complex is to implement, and price is often paid in baud rate or required bandwidth. So this is the issue of the complexity. Now there are basically multiple types of five types of line coding scheme. One is unipolar, polar, bipolar, multi-level, or multi-transition. In this video I will prefer unipolar, polar and bipolar. All signal levels are on one side or at the same time of axis, either above or below. This is for unipolar. So for unipolar NRZ, non-return to 0 scheme is an example of this code. This signal level does not return to 0, right? For example, if you are going to transmit these 3 bits with 1 0, let us suppose, in between, so it will be transmitted as 1. Let us suppose this is the transition line, so it will just 1 is transmitted, otherwise it is 0, and then again 1 is transmitted, right? So this is the example of unipolar NRZ. The signal level does not return to 0, but in case of RZ unipolar, your signal will be of half width in time domain. That means the bit duration will consist one positive cycle and one 0. Similarly, 0 is transmitted by 0, and again when 1 is received, it will again be positive half side, positive half of TB, and negative and other half of TB will be at 0. So this is return to 0, as your pulse is returning to 0 level. This scheme is prone to baseline wandering and DC component. It has no synchronization or any error detection. It is simply but costly in power consumption. This is the representation of NRZ. You can see that only one positive side, right, and 0 will be transmitted as 0, and again 2 ones, that means 2 positive voltages other than, and after that 0. Total normalized power will be calculated as with the expression. Now polar NRZ, the voltage are on both sides of the time axis. That means if you are transmitting 1 1 0 1, then 1 will be represented by positive 1, 0 will be represented by -1, and again this is at 1. So polar NRZ scheme can be implemented with two voltages, plus voltage and negative V. There are two categories, NRZL and NRZI. The change or lack of the change in polarity determines the value of the symbol. Example, one symbol inverts, the polarity of 0 does not, where the polarity 0 does not. This is the example of NRZL and NRZI. NRZL is simple, but in NRZI you can see that let us suppose if 0 is transmitted earlier for positive voltage, right, then every one will change the level, right, and again if 0 is again received, then there will be no change. There will be no change, but as 1 is detected, then level should be changed from negative to positive, because this is a 1 sensitive scheme, right? If 1 is received, then level will be changed. Again, that previous level was 1. As 1 is received by the receiver, or you can say the line coder, then it will change the voltage level. Again 1, then voltage change, then 0, no change. This is the power spectral density curve for this NRZ-L. NRZ-L, the level of voltage determines the value of the bit. NRZ-I is the inversion, or the lack of inversion determines the value of the bit. NRZ-L and NRZ-I both have an average signal rate of n by 2 BD, that is watt. NRZ-L and NRZ-I both have a DC component problem and baseline wandering. It is worse for NRZ-L. Both have no self-synchronization and no error detection. Both are relatively simple to implement. This is an example. A system is using NRZ-I to transfer 1 Mbps. What is the average signal rate and minimum bandwidth? So it should be S is the formula. This is the multiplication symbol, and that is, you can calculate with the help of this formula that baud rate, or S, will be 500 kilohertz for the signal. Polar RZ is the return to 0, right? In this scheme, like for example, you are transmitting 1, 0 and 1. So in that case, half pulse width will be at positive side and 0. Again 0 will be represented by -1 and 0, and again 1 will be transmitted by positive 1 for half bit and other than 0. So you can clearly see that this line coding scheme has, in comparison of the previous polar NRZ, have good synchronization ability. In each symbol has a transition in the middle. Thus you can see that the transition in the middle pulse is represented by, like, for half of width it will be 1 and other than 0. So this is the transition from the mid, right? The scheme has more signal transitions and therefore requires a wider bandwidth, no DC component of baseline wandering. If synchronization, transition indicates the symbol level. This is a simple scheme representing polar RZ. This is the bandwidth for this RZ pulse. Polar biphase Manchester and differential Manchester. In this case, every symbol has a level transition in the middle. From high to low or low to high, use only 2 voltage levels. Differential Manchester coding consists combining of these NRZ-I and RZ schemes. Each symbol has a level transition in the middle, but the level at the beginning of the symbol is determined by the symbol value. One symbol causes a level change, the other does not. This is the simple Manchester. You can see that 0 is represented by the transition from positive voltage to negative, and 1 is represented by the transition from negative voltage to positive voltage. Actually, this is not the final presentation, that always 0 will be represented by this level change and 1 will be represented by this change. This is not necessary. Sometime in literature you can also find that 0 should be represented as like this and 1 will be represented by this. So these are the these actually depend upon the device or circuitry, right? For example, if you are considering like first scheme, then it will be represented by this. Otherwise, if you are going to represent the whole signal with the help of this one, then you should represent all the zeros with this pulse and all the ones with this pulse. But in differential Manchester, you can see that while 1 is detected, the level will be changed. For example, if 0 is represented, then 0 will be from negative to positive, right? Then after that, when 1 is received, the transition will be occurred from positive to negative, and then 0 is again received then or transmitted, then there is no change. That means this side is positive to negative, and again when you transmitting 0, that level change should be as same as the previous pulse. Similarly, again 0, transition from positive to negative, but as 1 is just transmitted, then it will again change the level. That means from negative to positive, again 1 is received, so that is from positive to negative voltage. In Manchester and differential Manchester encoding, the transition at the middle of the bit is used for synchronization. The minimum bandwidth of Manchester and differential Manchester is 2 times of that of R and RZ. That is no DC component and no baseline wandering. None of these codes has error detection capability. Now bipolar AMI and pseudo ternary. Code chooses 3 voltage levels. In this case, alternate mark inversion. 1 will be represented as either positive voltage or negative voltage. 0 will be represented by 0. Voltage level for one symbol is at 0 and the other alternative between plus and minus for ones. Bipolar alternate mark inversion, the 0 symbol is represented by 0 volt and 1 is a symbol alternate between plus V and minus V. So pseudo ternary is the reverse of AMI. This is the representation of alternate mark inversion and pseudo ternary. You can see that 0 will be represented by 0 and 1 is represented by 1. Again 0 is represented by 0, but as alternate, this is the alternate mark inversion, your next one will be presented by the negative polarity of the previous one, right? So this is positive and this will be negative. Similarly, in pseudo ternary, 0 will be represented by +1, 1 will be from 0 level. Again the same thing but in the reverse mode, right? This is the bandwidth spectral of AMI, right? This is for bipolar. You can say it is a better alternative of NRZ, has no DC component. Why this is? What is DC component? DC component means at f equal to 0, this is your frequency, right? At f is equal to 0, you can see that the power is 0. That's why this has no DC component or baseline wandering, has no self synchronization capability yet, because long runs of zeros results in no signal transition, no error detection capability. Now the scrambling code is the code which provides the security also. So the best code is one that does not increase the bandwidth for synchronization, as has no DC component. Scrambling is a technique used to create a sequence of bits that has the required coding for transmission, self-clocking and no frequencies, no low frequency. That means the lower frequency should not be there in the spectrum. No wide bandwidth. It is implemented at the same time as encoding. The bit stream is created by on the fly. So this is the sender modified, or this is actually the advanced version of alternate mark inversion with scrambling. So this is violated digital signal, modified alternate mark inversion encoding, and then sent to the receiver. For example, B8ZS can substitute 8 consecutive zeros with if 8 sequential zeros has been received or been transmitted, then it will be represented by 000V, B0VB. The V stands for violation and it violates the line coding rule. Where B stands for bipolar, it implements the bipolar line coding rule. Like this is V is for positive voltage, B is for negative. You can clearly see the average. If I am inserting this V as well as B, you can clearly see that from starting point to the end point, right? This is the starting point, because I am inserting all the voltage, all the line coding scenario in this 8 bit of zeros, consecutive zeros. So in that case, you can see that the average DC value will be 0. That means positive will be cancelled out from negative and negative will be cancelled out with positive. So the average DC value will be 0. The previous level is negative if in case previous level is negative. Like for the example, this one is represented by +V. Then if it is represented by the negative V, then it will be the reverse. The like V will be replaced by minus voltage, and then plus, then minus, and then plus. You can clearly see that if positive pulse appears, then 0 will be transmitted as 0 0 0, then plus minus, right? Then 0 minus plus. Other than this, if minus is received, then 0 0 0 minus plus 0 minus 0 plus minus. HDB3 substitute 4 consecutive zeros with 3 zeros, then V, or B double 0 and V, depending on the number of non-zero pulses after last substitution. So this is the representation of HDB3 scrambling codes. You can see that this is the first substitution, which will be replaced by B00V, and second substitution it will be 000, this minus voltage, and then third substitution will be positive 00 positive. In multi-level scheme, in this scheme we increase the number of data bits per symbol, thereby increasing the bit rate. Since we are dealing with binary data, we only have two types of data element, a 1 or a 0. We can also combine the two data bit elements into a pattern of m element to create 2 to the power m symbols. Now if we have L signal levels, right, I have already told you L is equal to 2 to the power n. These are number of levels, and n is the number of bits required to represent these number of levels in form of digital data, right? So we can use n signal element to create L to the power n signal elements. Now we have 2 to the power m symbols and L to the power n signals. Then if 2 to the power m is greater than L to the power n, then we cannot represent the data elements. We don't have enough signals. Now if 2 to the power m is equal to L to the power n, then we have an exact mapping of one symbol to one signal. Now if L2 to the power m is greater than less than to L to the power n, then we have more signals than symbols, and we can choose the signals that are more distinct to represent the symbols and therefore have better noise immunity and error detection, as these signals are not valid. Now in MBNL scheme, a pattern of m data elements is encoded as a pattern of n signal elements in which 2 to the power m is less than or equal to L to the power n. This is the representing multi-level codes. We use the notation MBNL where m is the length of the binary pattern and b is representing the binary data. N represents the length of the signal pattern and L is the number of levels. So L is equal to B for binary, L is equal to T for ternary, L is equal to Q for quaternary. That means, for example, QPSK like sequence, right? Now this is the example of multi-level 2B1Q scheme. 2B1Q means Q is for quaternary and B is binary, where previous level positive was these representing 0 0 is positive 1, 0 1 for positive 3, 1 0 minus 1 and 1 1 is for minus 3, right? So in this picture you can see that 0 0 is transmitted with positive 1, 1 1 is like minus 2, this is minus 3, and 0 1 again, then 1 0 and 0, and this symbol representation is multi-level, right? There are different amplitude level which is available for bit transmission, right? So there is a problem in this scheme, because you can see that at f is equal to 0 this is not DC null, right? So that means f is equal to 0, the power is transmitted, which is not preferable. Now redundancy in 2B1Q scheme, we have no redundancy and we see that DC component is present. Yes, that's why I am saying so. If we use a code with redundancy, we can decide to use only 0 or positive weighted codes. And invert any code that would create a DC component. Receiver will know when it receives a negative weighted value, and that is, it should be inverted as it does not represent any valid symbol. This is a multi-level 8B60 scheme presentation. Now multi-level using multi-level channels. In some cases we split the signal transmission up and distribute it over several links. The separate segments are transmitted simultaneously for this purpose, which reduces the signaling rate per link, that means lower the bandwidth. This requires all bits for a code to be stored. It means that use of X links, right? This is the representation. Triple YZ, we use Z levels of modulation, where the triple Y represent the type of modulation. This is an example of multi-level 4D-PAM5 scheme. Multi-transition coding. Because of the synchronization requires, we force the transitions because of the requirement. This can result in very high bandwidth requirements, more transition than are the bits in the stream. Codes can be created that are differential at the bit level, forcing transition at bit boundaries. This results in a bandwidth requirement that is equivalent to the bit rate. In some instances, the bandwidth requirement may even be lower due to the repetitive pattern resulting in a periodic signal. This is an example of multi-transition MLT3 scheme. MLT3 signal rate is same as NRZI, but because of the resulting bit pattern, we have a periodic signal. For worst case, bit pattern will be 4 ones. This can be approximated as analog signal having a frequency 1/4 the bit rate. This is a summary of line coding scheme. This is a summary of line coding scheme, which is unipolar, NRZL, NRZI, NRZL, I, and biphase. These are the characteristics with in comparison. Bipolar, multi-level. This is MLT3. These all have the different characteristic which is presented in this table. Like unipolar, the bandwidth requirement is n/2. That means if 8 bits are available, then the required bit rate will be 4 approximately. Cost, no self it is costly, but no self synchronization capability. Similarly, NRZL and NRZI also. Biphase have the comparatively more bandwidth in comparison of NRZ scheme, but it have a self synchronization capability. Similarly, alternate mark inversion also do not have a self-synchronization capability, but its bandwidth is less than the biphase, right? Similarly, in multi-level, for multi-level, no self-synchronization for at 2B1Q, 8B60F self-synchronization, and as well as 4D-PAM5 have the self-synchronization capability, as well as the bandwidth is comparatively too much lower in comparison to all the explained line coding scheme. So in this video, this is the digital baseband transmission data technique. So thank you very much.